Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? You guys know what that is? That's a rose. This is what roses used to look like. This is a wild native rose. All right. Beautiful, huh? Hanging by its homegirl, Miss Poison Oak. What's up, Miss Poison Oak? You're like, that didn't look like a rose. That didn't look like the rose that I bought in my big box store and stuck in my front yard like everybody else. Ooh, that sounded condescending. I'm sorry. No, it isn't. It's the original. And the rose in your yard probably doesn't even make nectar or have pollen. And it probably doesn't make any fruit either if it's one of the newer varieties. Those pesky fruits. Well, those fruits are to feed birds, and they're very high in vitamin C and bears and other things too. And the seeds of the wild roses in those fruits, so they're called rose hips. In fact, rose hips, a lot of times the extract for our vitamin C supplements are from rose hips. And so the wild native rose, like the wood rose, has, it's like practicing survival the most cooperative. It's providing nutrition to keep its seed dispersers, like birds, alive by making sure they get the right vitamins, okay? And then it has cells that produce a good smell and they attract pollinators, like usually native bees. Native bees are like the main pollinators. There's other things that pollinate, but native bees are like the main one. And the smell and pollen and stuff feeds the native bees, and the native bees help take this pollen from plant to plant and help them fertilize and cross-pollinate. So the native rose has cooperation with the other members of its family. Survival the most cooperative. The native rose in your yard, it's just for you. And you know what? It's cliche. I'm sorry. When I see those roses, don't ever bring me a rose and be like, here's a rose. First of all, I think of cut flowers like cut, severed reproductive organs, and it freaks me out. Like, what does this say about our coming relationship that you're bringing me severed sexual organs from some poor organism? That was weird, huh? I'm sorry about that. But native plants provide functions for their relatives, the members in their ecosystem, the other animals. And that is super cool. We need to start selecting plants for what they can do for the ecosystem and not just what they can do for us. We don't need those selfish roses from the plant breeders. We need these native roses that also serve as larval host plants for butterflies and moths. And when butterflies and moths eggs hatch, they're caterpillars. And caterpillars are like delicious sausages for songbird parents to feed their babies. Okay, because would you rather feed your baby a caterpillar or a spiny beetle? Of course you'd rather feed your baby a caterpillar. And native plants evolved with certain insects, so certain insects always lay their eggs on native plants. Just trust me, native plants, that's how you want to go. So if you want to find native plants near you, you can go to Native Plant Finder. Just put it in your search bar, and it will bring up National Wildlife Federation's Native Plant Finder app, and you can just put in your zip code and it will tell you what's native. If you're in California, use Calscape, calscape.org, because California, we're way more complicated because we have so many different habitat types. That's why I love the state. So you should use calscape.org. But folks, if you want to make a difference, a really easy way to do it is to find out where your nearest reputable native plant nursery is and buy some native plants and plant them in your yard. If you don't have a lot of room and you just want a tree, if there's oak trees that are native to your area, plant the oak trees, because oak trees support more types of butterflies and moths than any other type of plant. And it provides acorns. Just underneath the oak tree, plant some native flowers and stuff, because a lot of moths that lay their eggs in oak trees, they drop off the tree. Sometimes, you know how you see those like caterpillars hanging from a string and you're like, oh no, you fell. Let me help you back up. Well, it was on its way to the ground, where it burrows into the ground and it goes in a cocoon under the ground, but you didn't know that. I didn't even know that until I just kept trying to figure out what these things I was digging up that were ugly and brown and moved. They were moth pupa. So if we have the ground underneath the oak trees all compacted and full of pesticides, we're not going to get those moths from the oak tree. So we need to have like flower beds and stuff underneath of our oak trees. And oak trees are epic. So if there's oak trees native to your area, please plant them. That could be the one plant you plant. If you're going to plant one native plant, plant an oak tree. Anyways, I'm going to go. I need to, oh, hey, lizards. There was a lizard couple right there. It's the season of love. But I got to do this walk better because I gained so much weight, I only fit into one of my pairs of work pants. So, I'm going to get at this. Talk to you guys later.